Hello, my name's Kathy, and in this video I will be discussing why astrology is important and a few details of things you need to have a grasp of to make the most of this course. Accompanying this video will be the first 4 PDF files of my book, The Basics of Astrology. The PDF files will be the cover sheet, the table of contents, and the introduction and the before you begin piece. Read over this material thoroughly and understand its elements as well as watch this video to get you ready for this course material. I truly hope that you get as much as possible from this course and that it helps you with your whole life. There are many reasons to study the science and art of astrology, but first it is important to understand how astrology works in a practical fashion. If you have ever known twins, you would see that they are 2 very different people who make very different choices given the same circumstances. This illustrates a very fundamental truth of life that astrology takes into consideration. 2 people can be born on the same day, the same hospital, and the same time, and yet their lives are different. This difference is what astrology helps you to see very clearly. It is the fact that each one of us is a unique individual who responds to life events in a unique way, thereby creating a unique life based upon each choice, day by day, year by year. When people are born, they come into this world with a higher awareness, a soul, if you will, that has its own strengths and weaknesses, and it will ultimately be the determiner of which life choices are followed. Maybe this twin was born with a courageous spirit, and the other twin was born with a more timid soul. The choices each of them would make, given the same set of circumstances, will be different. All that astrology shows you is the energy patterns and choice potentials that are in front of you, but it is the unique quality of your own self that determines which of the many possibilities for that given moment is chosen. Other determining factors include what sex you are, what country and customs you live with, and even the family background that you were born into. All that astrology shows you is the choice in front of you. It is your own individuality that determines what that choice will be. At the exact moment of your first breath, a snapshot of the energy patterns for that moment is infused within you like a template. This is called your birth or natal chart, and it determines the energy patterns of who you are at the most basic level. What you do from that point on is determined by your life choices, which will be different for all people because of the previously discussed items. When you live your life, it is helpful to understand who you are at this fundamental level, because it is a major component of the basis of your life choices. It is all about learning who you are, and that is what this first course on the basics of astrology is all about. Learning how to understand your birth chart, the essence of who you are. Another reason why astrology is so important is that it helps you not only to understand who you are, but also helps you to understand the differences that make up other people. As an example, you have your way of processing information that is unique to you. The tendency is for people to think that everyone else processes information the same way that they do. This is false. You may think that A plus B equals C. Well, that other person thinks that A plus B equals Q. You think they are crazy and they think you are totally misguided. Astrology helps a person understand others in a way that is very life-affirming. I have found this very helpful. Whenever I come across someone that I know processes information differently than I do, I always take the extra care to state my point from as many different angles as I can to get my true point across and then get them to repeat what they think they heard me say. I keep finding new ways of expressing my point until the new person understands. It is a bit exhaustive, but it does work. I would not know to do this in the first place without astrology's help. And untold confusions and misunderstandings would evolve as a result. Does this sound familiar to you? Have you experienced this phenomena? When it almost seems that the other person has taken a special course that was geared to help them totally misunderstand everything that you say? This is what I'm talking about. These differences extend to all areas of your being, from the way that you give and receive love to how you express aggressive impulses, and the list goes on. This is the information that astrology provides. And for me, it's its greatest gift for myself and all of humankind, the gift of understanding and tolerance. Also, astrology helps you to understand who you are so that you can take the best advantage of life events as they unfold for you. It provides the gift of seeing your big breaks in life and helps you to go for it. It also helps you to see that dark events in your life are things that will end. It helps you to see the cycles that life takes. It helps you to put everything in perspective. In this course, I make extensive use of formal contemplations. This might be a new concept for many of you. It's kind of like controlled daydreaming. It allows you to access information at a very deep level that is important to you. It is a skill that is well worth learning, as it helps you to connect strongly with your higher self, or the soul quality of yourself. We miss things and make poor choices when we only rely on our minds. The mind, or your intellectual capacity, only knows what it knows. It's like a hamster in a running wheel, running furiously but going nowhere. To take full advantage of life, you must move beyond your mind into this higher mind state to find your answers. Learning how to contemplate will help you do just that. When you get your answers from this higher place, some people call it intuition or hunches, you find miraculous answers to questions in your life that seemed impossible to resolve. This is its gift. Your higher mind is constantly trying to communicate with you in a multitude of different ways, but your intellectual mind keeps getting in the way. The mind is the eternal skeptic and will ridicule and belittle anything that doesn't fit into its scientific method of approaching a problem. As a result, you miss important information that your higher mind is trying to communicate with you. A common method of communication from the higher mind that most people have experienced is the phenomena of the hunch, the gut level feeling, or the sense of something impending in your life. Some other ways the higher mind can communicate with you are, well, have you ever walked down through a city street and a sign or a word in an advertisement seems to just pop out to you as if of something of special significance? Have you ever read a magazine, book, or something on the internet, or a word or phrase seem to have very special meaning? Have you ever had dreams that seemed to answer some pressing question you needed an answer to? These are some of the ways that your higher mind communicates with you. The higher mind may also communicate via the golden-tongued wisdom. This is the phenomena of some stranger saying something to you out of the blue and will pertain to what is on your mind. It's mind-blowing when it happens. Or else a TV program or a movie will come into your life all of a sudden that addresses your matter of concern. Or a book or other printed material will suddenly leap out in your consciousness as something of importance. The key with these pieces of special knowledge is to learn how to read them and understand what they mean in your life. A good book on dreams or symbols will help with this, but it's not necessary. You are capable of figuring it out for yourself. Weird things happen to us all the time, and we pass them off as nothing. Don't do this. Everything has meaning when you start formally communicating with your higher self via contemplations. The gate is open, so to speak, and information is going to flow out to you in ways that you can understand. Everything that happens to you throughout the day has meaning when you start to contemplate formally. All the randomness becomes more cohesive. After a certain point, you will be able to view the meanings of your life as they occur. It's kind of like walking in a state of prescience. Now, as far as this course goes, astrology is an incredibly complex subject, just like human beings, you know. And there's a lot to remember. Too much for virtually everyone. That is why I laid this course out the way that I did. If you have a personal experience of something, you will remember it as part of yourself. When you simply read about something, a great deal of it will soon evaporate soon after you've read whatever it is. To retain this knowledge base, you need to approach it in the experiential way. It is very important that you do the exercises for each of the chapters and have your personal experiences of each individual element of birth chart analysis so that you can see and understand the big picture of yourself and the multitude of others that happen to inhabit the world with you. Another way that this teaching course is different from any other that I have come across is that I explain why all of these components of astrology are as they are. In my own life, I have discovered that I must understand why something is done in a certain way, or it has little meaning for me. I want to provide the answers to my students in as many ways as possible so that this material can become a living part of your personal reality. Once you understand yourself through birth chart analysis, then you can take this knowledge base and learn about the cycles of life, which is the basis of predictive astrology, which is the next course that I am planning. Well, that's it for now. I look forward to seeing you in my next video, which will be next week, and it'll accompany a PDF file for Chapter 1, Lesson 1 on the elements. Take care. Until next time.